How do you manage customer service for maritime crane equipment clients across the globe? That is a topic we're going to be taking a deep dive into today. Welcome to the Seatrade Maritime Podcast. You are listening to Marcus Hand, editor at Seatrade Maritime News. Today you're going to be hearing from Martin Mathis, General Manager Customer Service Maritime Cranes for Liebherr Maritime Cranes. As a leading manufacturer and supplier of cranes to the maritime industries, customer services are a vital and complex function for Liebherr, and Martin will be taking us into that world today. Welcome to the podcast, Martin.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to our listeners today, Martin. And firstly, could you just briefly introduce yourself and explain your role in Liebherr to our listeners?
First of all, thank you for having me today, and a welcome to the listeners from my side as well. Yes, my name is Martin. I'm the General Manager for Customer Service Maritime Cranes here in Rostock in northern Germany. I'm with the company since about 20 years. Started as a service engineer. Had a good friend of mine was doing that job, and he recommended it to me. Sounded very interesting, challenging, a lot of technology. So I joined the company as an engineer. I did that for around 2 years and then had the opportunity to move into the office. And ever since, I was growing in the company, together with the company. And by now, I'm the general manager for customer service, which means I'm responsible for the whole service setup here, for the products we are selling locally and globally.
So that's a big role. Obviously, you're in customer service, and that's an important role in any business. Could you outline key areas that are unique in that to a business like Liebherr's?
I think Liebherr in general is a unique company. We have a very diverse portfolio. We have 13 divisions. We offer products from refrigerators, hotels, earth-moving equipment, tower cranes. So everyone normally stumbled across a Liebherr product through his life. It's a family business, and that is reflecting on how we are doing our customer service. Now, what is unique with the customer service we are providing? I think it's connected to the products we are servicing. So we have offshore cranes, which are used in wind farms, for example, on oil rigs, on heavy lift vessels. We have ship cranes and port and transshipment solutions. We have mobile harbor cranes. So it's quite a diverse portfolio here on our side as well. And each of these products, now, for example, if we take an offshore crane, you have to fly out there with a helicopter to remote locations. Sometimes we even have locations where there is normally no manpower on the platforms. We have ship cranes. The ship is moving all over the world. You never know where it may be, where the next service job may be. Yeah, the transshipment solutions, where we move cargo, or our customers are moving cargo from big vessels into smaller vessels to, for example, enter big rivers and move inland. And the harbor mobile crane, which is the workhorse in a port. If you ever have seen such a machine, they are operating continuously, very flexible machine, and it always have to work. So that the usage of those machines in itself is always very unique, and we, of course, have to tailor the services we offer to the requirement of our customers.
So that's a lot of different sort of environments through working in there, different types of equipment. And you're dealing with customers all over the globe. So how do you sort of structure your customer service to ensure an optimal reach?
We are trying to be close to our customer. That's why we have a big network of mixed sales companies. A mixed sales company is an affiliate, a local service station, however you wanna call it. At the moment, it is 49, soon 50 mixed sales companies we are dealing with. Of course, we have some dealerships as well, which are providing services. So those service teams locally, they provide actually everything a customer may require, from a service engineer to technical support. We are technical advisors, we have spare parts coordinators, service consultants. We try to be close, I said already. That as well helps with cultural understanding, for example. It helps with the time zones to be there. And we want to be reachable. So, a company that size, from your daily life, you may be experiencing, or at least I do, that somehow we get disconnected. It's a lot of digitalization. Of course, we go to that direction as well. But we are a family business, and we want to be a partner which is reachable as well in person. And that is something we are aiming for as well. So that is enabled by all those mixed sales companies around the world.
You mentioned there about the sort of different cultural differences in regions and stuff. Does that mean that the sort of services you offer vary by the regions, and so the products that perhaps are more popular in one region than another?
It can happen. So, of course, there are regions in the world where certain types of services are more usual. For example, now, the shipbuilding industry, a big majority of it is happening in Asia. So there, of course, one of the big tasks is commissioning of cranes. So regionally, there is a bit of a focus in that area. But generally, we try to provide our, let's call it standard out-of-the-box services everywhere. That would be from commissioning to planned services, ad hoc services, full service contracts. We provide upgrades, retrofit kits, remote service, and that all over the full lifetime until the decommissioning of the machine. When the customer needs support there, we would support as well. So actually we offer everything kind of everywhere when it comes to the regions. When it comes to the products, we have different products, as I mentioned earlier, and they may really require different types of services. For example, there are RL offshore cranes, ram-laughing offshore cranes. That's a very famous type of offshore cranes we have. We have a few customers which have those cranes on transformer stations for wind energy. Sometimes they are unmanned. And there we have a product called Main, which is remote maintenance. We can access the machine. We can even have a remote maintenance cycle that is operating the crane from a distance to see if everything works. Other businesses like the harbor mobile cranes, for example, the quick availability of us is very important. It keeps the port running, and we want our customer to be successful. And the standstill of a crane is really a big factor there, to be sure that we are always there, that we have dedicated teams for that. So it is a bit adapted on customer needs, on the products, on the regions. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Well, that's really interesting. It's got getting a picture, because you do have such a broad product range and geographical scope, and also that sort of challenge of providing a unified service at the same time as that. You mentioned mixed sales companies. Is there a difference between working with them and working with OEMs?
So we try, or we want that our customer feels Liebherr, whomever he is contacting, right? We have some customers we are servicing from the OEMs as well, but the normal standard would be to work with the mixed sales company. But they are all Liebherr entities, and they are providing the so-called first level support. So from our OEM side, we are more or less developing the strategies. We have the expertise in case there is certain questions. For example, a prototype crane. When there is an in-depth question which may have to be answered by the design department, this is routed from the mixed sales company to us, to the OEM, and we will provide the answer to the mixed sales company. Yeah, the whole setup to expand our mixed sales company setup, for example. I was listening to a podcast from last year where a colleague of you, Emma, she was interviewing Christoph Döring, and he said 43 mixed sales companies. By now we are around 49 to 50. So we are continuously expanding that, and the expansion is a part of our tasks.
It's quite a growth of the business in that time, actually. Looking ahead, what are the opportunities and challenges you see for customer service in the future?
What is a continuous challenge is labor, of course. It is not so easy in every region all around the world to recruit new colleagues. Because we are growing, there is always the requirement for new colleagues. We are working with a lot of different generations, which is good. We have new, fresh ideas, but adapting our structures and the circumstances we work into those new requirements, that's a challenge. Labor is more a puzzle piece, but on a big scale, we have the economic environment, we have political topics which are influencing our business, of course, looking further back to the pandemic. That was a big task. But I think our local or our global structures support a lot on how we can service our customers. So these local setups are a big benefit when it comes to these economic and political situations. And then, of course, there is always opportunities to get better. I mean, we see how the world is changing, and we challenge ourselves continuously. We try to improve with the services we have. We develop new products. With new products, I not only mean the customer service, I mean sales as well. So there's a lot of challenges and changes there, electrifications and so on. We expand the network. One thing we are doing, for example, at the moment, we have very big warehouses at the moment, 2 in Germany and Born in the Netherlands. And there will be a third one in the US, in Mississippi. It will be a hub, a major hub with a big availability of spare parts to service the American continents. So yeah, we're always challenging ourselves and try to get better.
Are there sort of other developments we can see? I mean, you mentioned there things like remote monitoring and so forth earlier. Are there sort of new developments that we can see going forward?
There are new developments generally in the B2C business, for example, which are very interesting, right? Every one of us is dealing a lot with, for example, online platforms where you can purchase products and so on. And a lot of these technologies are used in B2B as well. Very often, the B2C brings new expectations, for example, from the customer side. And we are dealing with that, and we try to learn from that and get better. There is AI, super big topic at the moment, and in our company, as in a lot of other companies, we are deeply looking into that, on how we can provide better services to our customers. The remote monitoring tools I mentioned earlier on, for example, is as well something which we are continuously improving step by step to expand the services we are offering with those tools.
Okay, great. Just sort of round this off, you mentioned, I think, the expansion in the Americas and a warehouse. Can you tell our listeners a bit more about sort of future plans for service products and innovations that Liebherr has?
So the electrification of our portfolio is a big task, is something we are working on quite strongly. We have a few new electrified maritime cranes out there in nearly every product we are offering. And that is something which, of course, over the coming years, it will get more and more. I mean, as for customer service, this is an add-on on top of what we are normally doing. We have a lot of electro-hydraulic cranes as well in the field, for example, and that just will be on top of our standard portfolio. But the electrification itself brings a lot of opportunities too when it comes to the digitalization. So I don't know, that is not an official word, but let's call it the cranes will get a bit smarter as well to support our customers. What else is to say there? I mean, our standard portfolio, we are continuously working on making that better. And I'm sure when listening to the customers, there will be more things we can improve, and more new products coming up. We try to be close there. I mentioned that already. And I think when listening what is said by the customer, you can only get good feedback, good ideas, and new chances to improve the services you're offering.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. Really look forward to hearing more in the future about some of those innovations and new products, and look forward to talking to you again on the Seatrade Maritime Podcast.
Thank you very much.